Here are some tips for your last 3 questions on Sapling Homework 4. And I think I'm gonna not start with this one. I'm gonna start with question number 19, drawing 2-methyl-pentanoic acid, because we don't practice a lot drawing a molecule from its name. When I am being asked to draw a molecule from its name, I always start at the end of the name on the right-hand side and I go backwards to the front of the name on the left-hand side. So when I see this name and it says pentanoic acid, that means pent means 5. That means I need to have a 5-carbon chain. So I'm going to start with a 5-carbon chain. Pentanoic acid means that my carbon number 1 needs to be a carboxylic acid. So I need to put a carboxylic acid group onto my carbon number 1. And then that takes care of the pentanoic acid part of the name. The other part of the name is 2-methyl. So that means on my carbon number 2, which is this is carbon number 1, so that's carbon number 2. On carbon number 2, I need a methyl. And then I need to go along and fill in hydrogens on all of the carbons that don't already have 4 bonds. Make sure that all of the carbon atoms have 4 things. So there is 2-methyl-pentanoic acid. Here is one where we are choosing the correct name. So let's try to do this as, I'm going to do a screenshot of this. Let's try to do this as logically as possible. So when we're looking at an ester, remember the beginning of the ester's name is going to be coming from the OR group. That's 1 carbon, which means that it is methyl. So this ester's name is going to start with methyl. So we can cross off 2 of those right there. And then the other half of the name comes from this part right here. How many carbon atoms are on that part of the name? There's 2 carbon atoms. So that would be an eth. It could be an ethane. If it was a carboxylic acid, we'd call it an ethanoic acid, but it's an ester, so we call it an ethanoate. Ethanoate, right there. Methyl ethanoate. For the other one, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to start on the right-hand side of the molecule, how many carbon atoms are on that side of the molecule, and what does that mean? And then for the left-hand side, how many carbon atoms are there total? Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. What kind of name would you give that if there were 4 carbons? Let's go back to this guy right here. So this is just sorting structures based on if they are a carboxylic acid, an ester, or an amide. And at first glance, this problem looks like, oh, this is going to be easy. I just have to find the correct functional groups. However, this has got a weird mixture of condensed notation as well as strange abbreviations for functional groups. So I want to make sure that you understand what you're looking at. So this one right here is really the only one that's pretty straightforward. You can see that this one has got an ester functional group. It's just nice and easy for you to see. So we've got that. Here is a condensed abbreviation right there. Whenever you see COOH like that, or it could also be CO2H, which should make sense to you. That is our condensed notation for the carboxylic acid functional group. So that is a carboxylic acid. And here we see it again, COOH. There's another carboxylic acid. And here we see it again, COOH. There's another carboxylic acid. So you got to look out for that. We also have, look at this one right here, this is different, COOR, or you could see it as CO2R. And this one, it's got a little apostrophe thing with the R, like that doesn't mean anything. I mean, it does mean something, but it has nothing to do with the layout of this. So COOR is the ester functional group. That's the abbreviation for the ester functional group. So COOR, that's an ester. Looks like that's the only one. The last one we have here, CON is our abbreviation for the amide functional group. And there's going to be stuff coming after the N like HR or H2. It's just indicating what's attached to this nitrogen, but that's not what matters. The CON is our amide functional group. And so hopefully that helps you with that problem.